Join me for something a little bit different. Happy World Hobbit Day. Today is the 22nd of September, which is officially World Hobbit Day. Why is it World Hobbit Day? Well, if you're familiar with the book, then you will know that Frodo was born in 2968 and Bilbo was born in 2890, both in the Third Age. So that's why we have World Hobbit Day. It also happens to be the day after The Hobbit was first published, back in 1937. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole, with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. And that is how this wonderful book starts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I know it may not sound like it, but I was born a bunny. I was born at the then Dudley Road Hospital, which is now known as City Hospital, which is only a mile or so from the centre of Birmingham. Unlike London, where you are classed as a Cockney if you are born within the sound of Bow Bells, Birmingham doesn't have such a marker, but I did spend the first 13-ish years of my life in Birmingham. So a couple of years ago, I went on a trip with Jules to go and pick up a drone, and as we'd gone to Birmingham, we went for a bit of a drive. We'd been talking about Tolkein, having watched the film that came out a couple of years ago, and he had got me watching the Hobbit series of films. So we drove over. We went through King's Heath following the number 11 bus route, which is a bus route that I used to get from King's Heath to my school in the other side of King's Heath, called Swanshurst. It was at Swanshurst School that I remember sitting very bored in a class and looking out the window over Bilsley Common, and the teacher said to me, if you're going to sit there daydreaming, you might as well be constructive with it, and threw a copy of the said Hobbit book on my desk and told me to read it. Why was I interested in the Hobbit? It wasn't exactly a girl's book, so I thought. And she went on to tell me a little bit about Tolkien, who I knew nothing about then. I know a lot more about him now. But although he was born in South Africa, he was actually raised near where I was actually sat that day. He was raised in Moseley, and there was a building there called Soho Mill, which is what he based some of the buildings from the Hobbit in. So we drove over, and Jules did some filming of Soho Mill, and on our way back I was telling him about the two towers, which are based on Perrett's Folly and the Waterworks Tower at Edgbaston Reservoir. So we drove to Edgbaston and did a bit of filming, and then went back, and that was it as far as I was concerned. He'd got some footage, but then he said, you seem to know more about Tolkien than me. How about you give it a go? So scarily, I sat down and started writing what I knew about Tolkien. I knew where he grew up. I also knew that he had an association with the Oratory. The Oratory is on the Hadley Road, which is the main road into Birmingham, and is a church. I used to go there in my 20s, not because I was religious, but because I adore Latin Vespers. I love that music and the sense of calm that it gives you. So I knew about Tolkien. So I started writing and writing. I wrote quite a lot, but knowing what Tolkien fans are like, I wanted to make sure I got everything really right. So everything was fact checked and double fact checked, and I was saying fact checked, not fact checked. Obsessed by fact check. It was also around this time that Rings of Power came out on Amazon. Quite excited about this, partly because it had Lenny Henry in it. Lenny Henry is from Dudley, and I went to college in Dudley and spent some time over that side of the Midlands, which isn't from me. It's classed as Yam Yam because it's Wolverhampton, Black Country area rather than Birmingham. So I was quite excited for Rings of Power to be out, and it kind of timed in nicely. So I got the script together. We went up to Longmynd and did a bit of a recce to look for locations to film this. And Longmynd, if you've never been, is a beautiful, beautiful area in Shropshire that just has an unworldly feel to it, because you don't imagine that you're in the middle of the Midlands, really, but instead you could be in Switzerland, you could be in Rivendell, and you find yourself being taken somewhere completely different. So going back to my teacher, who said, read this book, it kind of came full circle for me, and we did this little film whilst Jules was out filming with this superb actor called Don Morris, who played my Hobbit. I say my Hobbit because I wrote this film. I felt he was my Hobbit. I was at the house, and his son, Jules' son, not Tom's son, made the props to go with this little film, and it was really exciting. I was so nervous though while they're out and about, not least because I wanted to make sure that the cloak, which I had hand sewn, held out, because I didn't know how windy it was going to be or anything. So whilst I'm new to this filming lark and YouTube, I did put up a film 2 years ago, or write a film 2 years ago. I have put a link to the film in the thing below, so you can have a watch of it yourself if you haven't already, because I'm proud of that piece of work, because I did it. I wrote something which I think is good. No, I don't think it's good. I know it's good. So happy Hobbit Day. You may wonder, why am I wearing things in my hair and have my hair in plaits, because this is not how you normally see me. I am channeling my inner Poppy Harfoot, who is a character and the Rings of Power, of which season 2 is on now, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. So viewers, happy Hobbit Day. Whether you're a fan or not, I hope you've enjoyed this little film. Happy watching. A link to the film The Real Middle Earth by Jules Dingle can be found in the link below. I do hope you enjoy it.